guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I am so happy that you're here today. For today's video, we are doing a version of Makeup with a Message meets Someone Needs to Hear This. I wanted to chat about how I personally, again, these are all my personal opinions, how I feel like we base our answers to everyday questions around the recipient's comfortability. For today's video, I'm going to be using the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a oldie but a goodie. I am so inspired by the pan project that I've seen go through Instagram. I'm gonna pop a couple friendos up here for you guys to go check out. They have really inspired me to just use what I have and not have an ungodly amount of eyeshadow over here just go to waste. So I'm going to be using this palette, which I haven't brought out in a very long time because I usually only use it in the fall. To get us started, I'm going in with Orange Soda Burnt Orange in the crease. I'm going to define that a little bit further with Sienna. Use the Mulberry in the outer edge and then top it off with Rose Pink. I'm going to be talking about the good old how are you? Because personally, I don't ask people that question. And I don't ask people that question very often. No, that's a lie. I do ask people that question. Generally, they ask it first and then I ask it in reciprocation. Is that a word? I don't know. But I generally try and stay away from that question, and I'm going to tell you why. Through all of the self-discovery and all of the work that I've done on myself, personally, I feel like that question has really lost its meaning, and I feel like people don't really want to know the truth. Because as someone with anxiety and depression, odds are my answer to that question, we'll say 50% of the time, is I'm not okay. But nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to answer that question, I'm not okay. I've been better. Everyone's gonna say, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm okay. My favorite is, can't complain because no one wants to hear it anyway. My favorite. But nobody actually answers the question. Because they know that if you come to me and you say, hey Melissa, like, you know, hey Liz, how you doing? How are you? And I say, you know what, I'm really not okay. I'm met with, okay, because then they don't know what to do, and it makes the other person very uncomfortable. But I often wonder, at what point did we worry more about how uncomfortable the person who asked the darn question is over our own truth? And that's where the anxiety comes into play, I think. I think everybody has everyone has a level of anxiety. Some of us have a high level. But it makes me question, like, why are you asking me this question when you really don't want to know the truth? And I'm generalizing. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who would love to know the truth and would love to hear, you know, maybe not love to hear that I'm not okay, but they would love to hear, they would be able to accept my answer. But I have to tell you guys, I'm going to say a good portion of those people don't ask to know the truth. And I say, you know, as someone with anxiety, it's very easy to try your hardest, and again, I'm speaking for myself, to control what you can, and like you become this control freak because I can't control my head and I can't control the lies that are being said in my head and what my anxiety, we'll call her Lola, is trying to make me believe. But I can control how comfortable I think I can control how comfortable the person on the other end of my conversation is. Realistically, you can't. However, I feel like there's that, it just kind of goes back to that element of control And the element of worry. I know how awful it feels to be uncomfortable. And I know how awful it feels to be in a situation. We're going back to elementary school when they said, Melissa, you read the next chapter, and I'm not prepared. Pretty sure that's where my anxiety started. And you're put on the spot. I feel like if I say I'm not okay, you know, I'm really not feeling it today. I'm really anxious. I'm really nervous. I'm putting the other person on the spot. And I'm making them uncomfortable. Now, am I saying that we need to live our lives worried about other people's comfortability? No. Am I saying that we need to be aware of our surroundings and our situation before we really just blurt out our lives? I want to say no, but yes. I'm not going to tell my boss, oh my god, I had a panic attack the other night and I was on the kitchen floor crying. I'm using the same brush the entire time, guys. I'm using Morphe E23, and this is the first time I've actually kind of cleaned it off a little bit. For these soft, glam, sultry looks, I really just like to use the same brush. I feel like I get a beautiful blend. Anywho, we're so worried about everybody else's comfortability in that conversation that we forget our truth, and then we have to live with the fact that we're okay. I'm okay. But we're not. So how do you deal with that? How do you deal with not being okay, but you just told Joe that you're okay? I just told my husband, I did it with my marriage for like forever until about 6 months ago. I did it with my marriage for so long because I was like, you know what, this is my burden, this is my problem. We're gonna ignore her. This is my problem. So why am I going to even answer that question? And honestly, my husband doesn't really ask it anymore, probably for the same reason. But even in my own marriage, I stopped being truthful. I was never truthful. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'm always fine. I'll always be fine. Oh my god, if I had a penny for every time I said that, I could own Disney World. Like, I'm always fine. I'll always be fine. You know it. You know I'm good. But for 3.5 years, oh, I haven't been married that long. For 2.5 years, I struggled with so much all by myself. I took on an entire burden of my anxiety, and I never let him help me carry it. Until 6 months ago. But we're still happily married, so that's good. My coffee maker broke, and I've been living off of tea, and it's just not the same. Even though they tell me tea has more caffeine, I don't believe it. But when we lie to that question, because we're so worried about the other person's comfortability, we're lying to ourselves. And we're feeding ourselves this, I'm fine, it'll be fine. Which, yeah, tomorrow, odds are it's gonna come. But if you face the problem and you recognize that you're not fine, you're not okay, it gives you a leg up on getting to that point. It gives you a leg up on having that happiness and joy, and even 10 minutes of not having to worry. Because now, you set yourself up. Now, you've lied, which I keep saying it like, you know, you lied about something horrible, but like, you've said this little white lie, and now you have to be in that. You have to own that for the rest of your time with that person, which is exhausting. When if we had our truth in us and we kept our truth and we said, you know what, I'm not okay, I'm not fine, Pipsqueak's not alright, you can hear her. If we just open up, A, it gives us an opportunity to talk about it and normalize it and make it okay. And B, it gives us an opportunity to be honest and say, you know, this gives me a chance if any point in the conversation I don't feel good. It's a known fact that I'm not okay. So it may make that other person feel uncomfortable, and it will. But then it'll make them think, oh, I can be honest when people ask me that question. And you can own your truth, and you can own that. And then, honestly, ever since I started answering that question honestly, my anxiety's gotten so much better because I've lived in my truth. I've lived in the moment that I am in, and I enjoy being in, and I live in that moment. I'm not okay. I say it out loud. It becomes real and concrete, which is another fear. But then I can go about my day. I've acknowledged it. I've said it out loud. It's real. The other people around me know it's real. But they can either help me, give me space, but I also have an opportunity to help myself. Oh, this eye look is freaking gorgeous. I've never put these colors together, and I'm a little mad at myself for not ever doing that. But a long story short, all just to say, I think as a community, it would be really beneficial for those of us who half or 75% of the time are not okay. If we own that question and we own our truth and our honesty, it gives us such a liberation and opportunity to spread more awareness of mental illness if you have that going on like me. Normalizing reality, because sometimes, especially in corporate America, we don't live in reality. We just don't. But we have this, there's this freedom behind the truth. There's this freedom behind just saying it. I'm not okay. Today sucks. Today's not so good, because it gives the other person an opportunity to help you make that day better. You gotta let people in. It's scary and it's hard. But from what I've learned in the last 6 months, it's so rewarding. And I have had less panic attacks. I've been doing other stuff too, but like I've had less panic attacks. I've been able to open up to my peers, my boss. The one time I was super burnt out at work and he's like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, I'm really burnt out. He's like, okay, I think you should, I think I'm gonna take some time off. And I mean, he's not gonna say no, but it gave that open dialogue for him to check in later that day or that, when I got back from vacation, like, how are you feeling? And really mean that question. We can take ownership back of that question if we just care about each other a little bit more. That's the end of my rant, because I could go on forever. I'm gonna finish off my eyes and lips off camera and I'll come back and show you the final look. Alright guys, so this is the final look all wrapped up. I did throw on my ColourPop Libby pencil in BFF and my Morphe matte lipstick in Bare All. I've been enjoying the no gloss life for a little bit. I'm sure that'll change. I did forget to tell you guys what I have on my base. So I have the Ciate Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer, my Il Makiage foundation mixed in with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I have my Morphe bronzer in Mastermind, ColourPop blush in Why Hello. I'm about to hit pan on that and I'm so excited. And the ColourPop highlighter in Padded Down. For lashes, I'm using Chelsea Smith Cosmetics lashes. Unfortunately, this is no longer available, but this was her spring, I think, box. This is the natural box. And I just love her lashes, guys. If you have not checked out Chelsea Smith Cosmetics, it's Chelsea with EY at the end, Smith Cosmetics. Her lashes, her glue are amazing. I grabbed some of her wigs for my upcoming makeup series. And it's just so good. If you liked the video, definitely give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment below what you liked about it, and definitely subscribe and ring the bell for notifications and join the family. I'm so happy that you stayed and watched the video. I appreciate your support so much. I do plan to do more of these. I just don't know what they're going to look like yet, so I'm experimenting with that. But with that, I hope that you can go forth and answer the how are you inevitable question you're going to be asked with a little bit more honesty and just normalize that moment so that we can take back that question. Bye guys.